Sometimes, people will do whatever it takes to keep their secrets buried, hurting you in the process without a second thought. When the truth finally comes to light, they're caught off guard, unable to handle the consequences of their actions. They once wielded deception like a weapon, and now, as the heat rises, they find themselves defenseless, scrambling under the weight of their own lies. This moment is proof that truth will always demand its day in the light, and no one can escape the fire they set for others. They had no shame, no hesitation in striking you where they thought you were vulnerable, all while their own truths lay hidden, buried under layers of deception. You were the one bearing the scars, absorbing the hits they threw with a smug satisfaction, as if their lies were armor and your pain just a necessary cost. But that era of shadows is over. Now the truth burns bright, and the walls they built to hide behind are crumbling to ash. They're exposed, raw under the intensity of every lie that's been ripped open to reveal what they thought could stay buried forever. Their arrogance is their downfall, and now, under the glaring spotlight of their own lies, they're vulnerable in a way they never expected. There's no shield left to hold, no dark corner to disappear into, just the brutal reality of their own actions reflecting back at them. And you, after enduring their twisted games and bearing the brunt of their hidden truths, stand witness as they unravel, undone by their own deception. They wielded their lies like weapons, but now each one turns back on them, cutting deeper than they ever cut you. This is the fire they ignited, and now they're the ones burning, paying the price they thought they could escape. They calculated every move, weaving a web designed to ensnare you in pain. You extended a hand of kindness, and they saw it as an open door to exploit your trust. Without hesitation, they planted seeds of doubt and betrayal, fully aware of the turmoil it would cause within you. Your vulnerability became their playground, a landscape where they could orchestrate your downfall while wearing a mask of innocence. No apologies crossed their minds. Remorse was an alien concept. They walked beside you with cold indifference, eyes devoid of empathy as they watched the cracks in your spirit deepen. Your kindness was met with manipulation, your generosity met with greed. They viewed your struggles not as a plea for help, but as confirmation of their power over you. Each step you stumbled was a victory for them, a testament to their ability to control and harm without consequence. They observed your hardships like spectators at a play, detached and entertained. Every sigh, every tear was a note in a symphony they composed of your despair. Shamelessly, they assumed they stood above retribution, cloaked in arrogance. Your suffering was merely collateral in their quest for self-serving goals. They underestimated the resilience that lay dormant within you, dismissing it as insignificant. Unbeknownst to them, their heartless actions were the architects of their own demise. Each act of cruelty was a brick in the wall that would eventually surround them. Their lack of remorse didn't shield them, it exposed them to the inevitable backlash of justice. The fate they thought they could escape was quietly unfolding, set into motion by the very schemes they so carefully plotted. The universe has a way of balancing scales, and their disregard for you was tipping the balance against them. Now, the foundation they've built on deceit begins to crumble. The fortress of indifference they hid behind offers no protection against the consequences they ignited. They set the stage for a reckoning, blind to the reality that every wound they inflicted on you was a mirror, reflecting their true selves. Justice doesn't always shout its arrival. Sometimes it creeps in silently, ensnaring those who believed they were untouchable. They crafted their downfall with their own hands, and now they must face the storm they thought would never come. Their lies, once woven so tightly they believed them impenetrable, now hang in shreds for all to see. They wore a mask of charm, of decency, constructed layer by layer with careful deceit, each lie adding a glossy sheen to the face they showed the world. But now that mask crumbles, fragments scattering in every direction under the unrelenting light of truth. The illusions they crafted with such precision now lie bare, like shards of glass reflecting only the empty, hollow reality of who they are beneath. In the eyes of everyone around them, the cracks are undeniable. Those who once trusted, who once looked to them with admiration or respect, now see the dark truth that lay hidden behind the facade. Every word they uttered, every carefully managed gesture, now feels sour, tainted by the weight of lies that can no longer be concealed. Their crafted image lies in ruins, a house of cards blown apart by the undeniable force of exposure, and no amount of reassembling can restore its former glory. Wherever they turn, the scrutiny follows. There's no hiding from the eyes that now hold only skepticism and mistrust. People who once overlooked inconsistencies or forgave slight missteps now piece together the threads of deception they once ignored. Questions cut through the silence, demanding answers, explanations they can't give without further entangling themselves in the web of their own making. Accountability is no longer avoidable. It's a wall closing in from every side. The arrogance they once carried, the smug assurance that their lies would hold fast, has dissolved into sheer panic. They feel it in their bones, the weight of consequences looming, relentless and inescapable. No escape route, no path leading out of the mess they've created. Their once steady gaze now falters, their calm demeanor shattered, replaced by the unmistakable flicker of fear. They scramble for exits that don't exist, clawing for a way out, yet all they find is the stark reality of exposure. The world sees through them now, and they're left defenseless, surrounded by the truth they can no longer hide from. This is why we offer Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom, a community built for those who live in alignment with truth, resilience, and purpose. With over 400 chosen ones standing together, the Inner Order grants you access to uncensored videos, truths too powerful for mainstream platforms, and modern manifestation mechanics that turn trials into triumphs. Inside our exclusive Star Chamber Discord server, you'll join a gathering of warriors who share stories, wisdom, and victories, forming an unbreakable circle of support and empowerment. If you're ready to rise above deception and align with those who embrace truth, Obsidian Inner Order is where you belong. Few spaces remain, and this is your moment to claim a place among those who see beyond the illusion. The link to join us on Patreon is in the description. Step into the Inner Order and let truth be your shield. The truths they buried are now searing hot, scorching paths through their carefully maintained facade. They are unprepared for this. They moved forward assuming they'd remain untouched, that they could walk away from their deeds without a single consequence. But now they are confronted by the reality they shaped with their own hands, feeling the sting of every wound they inflicted, the weight of every lie they told. There is no escape, no evasion from the echo of their actions, which return now with a vengeance. The energy they once unleashed on others now surrounds them, leaving no doubt that karma does not forget, that every action returns to its source tenfold, and they are now reaping exactly what they sowed. They stand face to face with the harshest judge of all, their own reflection. For so long they cloaked themselves in arrogance, thinking they could sidestep the consequences of their actions, but now the mirror shows no mercy. It reveals every selfish choice, every betrayal etched in stark lines that they can no longer ignore. The mask they wore, crafted to deceive and charm, has fallen away, leaving nothing but the raw truth staring back. And it's ugly. Beneath the surface, they see what they've become, every lie, every hurtful word, every manipulative scheme staring back like ghosts they can't shake. Shame washes over them like a tidal wave. They once dismissed remorse as weakness, a vulnerability for others to bear. But now, stripped of every illusion, they feel the crushing weight of shame they can't escape. It digs deep, unrelenting, a festering wound that no amount of denial can cover. Regret gnaws at them, relentless and unforgiving. Every action they took, every choice made in selfishness or cruelty, loops in their mind, a torment they can't silence. You stand unshaken, rising higher with every step, unbothered by the drama they once spun around you. They tried to plant seeds of doubt, hoping you'd falter, expecting their betrayals to weigh you down. But their schemes only fed the fire within you, a catalyst for your strength. What they intended as a trap became a launchpad, propelling you beyond their reach. While they linger in the shadows of their own insecurities, you ascend, unencumbered, fueled by a resilience they can't even begin to grasp. Watching you thrive is a searing blow to their ego, an incessant reminder of their failure. The confidence you now carry strikes them like a relentless wave, eroding the walls of denial they tried to build around their own shortcomings. Each step you take, every achievement you earn, mirrors back to them the depths of their own inadequacy. They see in your success all that they could never become, and it burns, a reminder that their attempts to diminish you have only highlighted their own limitations. Their jealousy, once subtle, now festers into a consuming bitterness, a silent torment that gnaws at them daily. Your growth is a painful mirror to their choices, casting a light on the emptiness they tried to fill by tearing you down. While you soar, unburdened and thriving, they are left shackled by their own regret, forced to confront the reality that their efforts to hurt you have only exposed their weaknesses. You are everything they aim to destroy, and in watching you rise they're reminded day after day of the greatness they sacrificed in their petty games. They can't escape the sight of your strength. It follows them, casting shadows of all they tried and failed to take from you. Now, as you move forward, they're left behind, rooted in the consequences of their own choices, haunted by the reality that your rise, unstoppable and unapologetic, is a testament to everything they'll never achieve. And while they flounder in the wreckage of their own intentions, you rise higher still, untouchable, unstoppable, a painful testament to the power of resilience they'll never understand. Every desperate attempt they make to save themselves ricochets back with unyielding force, a backfire so fierce it leaves them scrambling, yet each action only pulls them deeper into the abyss they created. They plot, they maneuver, thinking they can escape the web of their own making, but every step forward is like quicksand, dragging them further down. Their schemes, once executed with cold confidence, now twist around them like a noose, tightening with every lie, every calculated betrayal that once served as their armor. They are digging their own grave, shovel in hand, piling the dirt higher around themselves with every attempt to regain control. Each plot they hatch to manipulate, each whispered excuse to shift blame, only reveals their deception more glaringly to those around them. Their strategies crumble the moment they're laid, and the earth beneath them opens wider, swallowing their efforts whole. What they once believed to be their path to victory now becomes the very thing that seals their fate, trapping them in the depths of their own duplicity. The backlash is relentless, as if the very forces of the universe have conspired to ensure they feel the full weight of every choice they made. Consequences gather like storm clouds, thundering down on them without pause, unyielding and unforgiving. There's no reprieve, no chance to breathe or hide from the torrent of repercussions that meet them at every turn. Their attempts to manipulate the situation, to rewrite the narrative, only amplify the truth they tried so hard to bury, exposing them to the harsh, searing light they can't withstand. And as the walls close in, they are left to face a brutal reality. Every act of betrayal has returned to them tenfold, each misstep a weight that now crushes from all sides. They are ensnared by their own actions, helpless as the universe ensures they pay for every slight, every wound they inflicted on others. The harder they fight to escape, the deeper they fall, abandoned by their own schemes, drowning in the fallout they thought they'd avoid. It's a reckoning from which they cannot hide, a perfect storm of consequence designed by their own hands. While they moved against you with heartless intent, weaving schemes they thought would bring you to your knees, God's protection wrapped around you like an impenetrable shield. Every strike they aimed at your spirit met divine resistance, each attempt to shatter your peace rebounding back to them, thwarted by a force they could neither see nor comprehend. They underestimated the strength that lay beyond human understanding, a power that held you steady while they sought to dismantle everything you stood for. Their actions were fierce, but the divine presence surrounding you was fiercer, a sanctuary that no earthly malice could breach. Their cruelty, instead of breaking you, strengthened your resolve, deepening your connection to the divine. They tried to erode your confidence, to chip away at your hope, but with every blow you drew closer to a well of strength that was not your own. God's hand guided you through the storm, molding resilience from their betrayal, transforming pain into a fortified spirit that they could not touch. The more they tried to press you down, the more you rose, shielded by a power that only grew stronger in the face of adversity. Where they sought to make you weak, you became unbreakable, rooted in a faith that their actions could not shake. And now, while you stand in a light they can't touch, they crumble under the weight of their own actions. The pressure of their own deceit bears down on them, a heat they are powerless to escape. Every scheme they devised, every lie they spun, now turns against them, magnified by the very darkness they attempted to unleash on you. They are left to face the consequences alone, without the grace that once covered you. The protection that guarded you stands as their silent adversary, a reminder that no malice can conquer what is divinely shielded. In their desperation, they find themselves breaking, crushed under the relentless weight of their own intentions. While they unravel, bound by the very traps they set for you, you rise unshaken and untouched, a testament to a protection that they could never comprehend. You remain beyond their reach, standing strong, anchored by a force far greater than they ever understood. A force that held you then, and holds you now, lifting you above the chaos they created. Every day, they wake to the relentless reminder of the choices they made, shackled by the weight of their own actions. No matter where they turn, the consequences follow, clinging to them like shadows that refuse to fade. What they once shrugged off as trivial, what they dismissed as inconsequential, now echoes in every silent moment, gnawing at their thoughts, relentless and unyielding. Each decision once taken so lightly now looms as a constant reminder, a chain binding them to the past they can never escape. Their legacy has become one of regret, a burden that stains every part of their existence. The shame clings to them, tainting moments that should bring joy, coloring relationships they attempt to forge, casting a pall over dreams they try to reclaim. They wanted freedom, but now they are prisoners of their own design, surrounded by the ruins of what could have been had they chosen differently. Regret seeps into every aspect of their life, a silent poison that dulls each day. A reminder that while they had every chance to do right, they chose betrayal. Meanwhile, you move forward unburdened by their mistakes, untouched by the weight that now consumes them. While they remain trapped, rooted in a past they can't escape, you stride into a future of possibility, free from the stains they tried to leave on you. Their betrayal, once meant to hold you back, has no power over your path. You rise above, stepping into each day without the anchors of regret that chain them down. They are left to watch as you build something brighter, something real, a life free from the darkness they tried to cast upon you. This is their reality now, a life haunted by the choices they made, by the legacy of pain they crafted for themselves. You, untouched and unbreakable, are proof of their failure, a reminder that their actions could never define you. And as they linger in the shadows of regret, you walk forward, free to embrace the future that belongs to you alone, leaving them forever bound to the weight of their own making. Your resilience burns like a beacon, a brilliance they can neither touch nor comprehend. Every attempt they made to diminish you, every scheme they set in motion to watch you falter, only fueled the light you now radiate. You are unbreakable, a symbol of strength that others look to with admiration, a force that casts their petty attempts into stark relief. Their whispers, their sabotage, once meant to dim your spirit, have instead become the fuel that powers your undeniable rise. And now, your strength stands as a blinding spotlight, illuminating just how powerless they were to shape your path. Against your unwavering power, their efforts to bring you down look weak, small, laughable. What they once thought were masterful tactics are now exposed as feeble gestures, mere shadows against the brilliance you embody. They may have tried to paint you with doubt, to encase you in their own insecurities, but the harder they pushed, the brighter you became, shaking off their attempts like dust from your shoulders. They wanted to see you crumble, but instead, they see a figure untouchable, thriving beyond the reach of their jealousy and spite. Each move they made only sharpened your resolve, each slight only adding to the fire that now fuels your unstoppable ascent. And here lies the ultimate irony. Their actions only elevated you. What they plotted to undermine you has instead crafted a legacy of resilience that stands in defiance of their intentions. They tried to cast you in shadows, but instead, they've been left in yours, struggling to escape the insignificance of their own actions as you move forward, radiant and unstoppable. Your name, your strength, now resonate louder than any scheme they could devise, leaving them to grapple with the undeniable truth. They've been left behind, diminished by the very attempts they made to shrink you. The spotlight is yours, a hard-won testament to your power. They watch from the sidelines, forced to witness the empire of strength they unknowingly helped to build. Where once they aimed to isolate you, to make you feel lesser, you now stand above, untouched and uninhibited. Their envy only tightens as they realize they've made you into something far beyond their control. They've become bystanders to the very success they tried to prevent, witnessing the stark contrast between their frailty and your resilience. You are a force they can't reach, a reminder of all they failed to achieve, and every moment of your rise is a testament to the truth that their actions could only elevate you. You stand as proof that no scheme, no slight, no betrayal could diminish your light. In their attempts to pull you down, they only created a legend, and now they're left to watch, lost in the shadow of your strength, a strength that will forever remain beyond their reach. They had no shame, no hesitation in wielding lies and betrayal when the truth lay hidden in shadows. But now, with that truth blazing in full light, they are trapped in a heat they can't escape, cornered by the relentless force of their own actions. Every deceit they thought would bring you down only amplifies the intensity of their regret, branding them with a legacy of shame they can never outrun. This is the fire they ignited, one that now consumes them while you rise, untouchable, and stronger than they could have ever imagined. Your triumph is undeniable. You move forward, no longer tethered to the darkness they once tried to cast over you. With each step, you demonstrate that their cruelty was powerless against your resilience, your inner strength a force that no betrayal could diminish. While they grapple with the wreckage of their own choices, haunted by the scars of their own making, you walk away victorious. This victory, built from the ashes of their attempts to break you, is yours to carry forward, a testament to the power of endurance and truth. They are left behind, bound to the consequences they once believed they'd evade, watching from a distance as you step into a future they will never touch. The impact of their actions is indelible, woven into the fabric of their lives as a legacy of shame. But your strength, your unyielding will be remembered for far greater things. You've shown the world that no amount of darkness could ever dim your light, that you are unbreakable, and that truth, no matter how deeply buried, will always find its way to the surface. Now, let your story be heard. Share the strength that brought you here, the truth that set you free, and inspire others to rise from the shadows that others cast upon them. Your voice, your story, will be the light that guides others through their own battles, reminding them that they too can emerge triumphant.